Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.
You're watching Conversations with Jennylyn, and as I continue my COVID-19 World Interview Series, today we are visiting Australia, and my guest is Rautenbach, and he is a marketing consultant, a business-to-business marketing and sales media syndication content strategist, linguistics influencing AI. It's a mouthful. I can't neglect to mention any of this important stuff that you are doing, Jan. And welcome to Conversations with Jennylyn.
Well, thank you, Jennylyn. Nice to be here.
I am excited because I think this is the first segment I'm doing in Australia. And I'm excited that it's you, and you are South African.
Yes, we arrived in Australia in around October last year, but I have been here backwards and forwards for a few years. Yeah.
Okay, how do you like living there?
It's fantastic. Yeah, especially Brisbane. The weather is great, although it's a bit chilly in the last couple of weeks, but it's really great here. People are laid back, people are friendly. Yeah.
Well, the opposite is true here today. It's boiling hot, and if I didn't have to do this interview, I would have less clothing on.
Okay.
It is very hot here today. So you are a business-to-business marketing, sales, media, syndication strategist. Tell us what that means.
Okay, so there's actually two different services there. The one is we do business-to-business lead generation for technology companies. And then we also partner with someone in Houston who has a sales team there. And for companies who want to expand to the US or expand in the US, we partner with them. So we generate the leads, and then they actually turn those leads into customers for our customers. That's the one service. The other service is a media syndication service whereby we publish content to over 300 high authority media sites worldwide. And that gives our clients a lot of credibility, because if anybody Googles them, they see them everywhere. That's why I call it omnipresence. And then they also get ranked for keywords on Google after some months without having to do search engine optimization.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I noticed on your profile, some of the famous media companies were in the picture, like Fox, CBS, NBC. How are you working with them?
So we have a platform that integrates with them, and our articles are published or sent to these media outlets. And if they find it interesting, they publish them. But we generally get every article published in over 300 publications.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long have you... Sorry.
We can also get them published in outlets like Yahoo Finance, but and Reuters, but we can't guarantee that. They published on Reuters. It has to, they have to accept the article, and if it's newsworthy, they would publish it.
Wonderful. How long have you been doing this type of work? How long have you been doing this form of marketing?
The media syndication we've done for a few years. We started our digital marketing business in South Africa in about 2015. And when we expanded internationally, we offered more niche services. So that's why we started concentrating more on B2B for technology companies and the media syndication,
Okay.
which is more niche.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How often do you get back to South Africa?
Well, I haven't been back since October because we can't go there.
That's
right
right.
now.
So are you stuck there or are you living there?
No,
Australia?
well, we got stuck here and then we decided to just stay here anyway.
So you're a resident by default.
Yeah, so well, we were have actually planned on moving here for a while, but that's obviously just accelerated our plans, which is great.
Well, as long as you're happy, you're enjoying it, it's a win-win.
Yeah, things happen for a reason, I guess.
Exactly, and we don't always see what those are. Sometimes we never know, sometimes it's revealed. Tell me, what is COVID-19? How is it affecting where you are and those around you at the moment?
Well, it's devastating for small businesses. Obviously, businesses that rely on tourism, on people interactions like restaurants, coffee shops. They've been devastated because they had to close down or shut up shop, and some of them obviously can't recover. So yeah, it's been hard for a lot of small businesses. We've been less affected because we had already been doing business through video calls like this and so on. We actually, about a year or two ago, started structuring our business so that we could serve people online. And obviously that was a great move. So we've been blessed. We have lost some clients. People have said that they can't continue because their business is affected. But we've also picked up some clients, so we've been blessed. Yeah. But I'm very impressed with the government here. Although we don't really qualify for any help or anything as yet. But I know of businesses that are being supported where they actually pay towards their employees. And if a business can prove they've been affected, they actually get assistance from the government. They've even had subsidized electricity payments and things like that. So it's been really impressive how they've actually stepped up. And I think the way that Australia went about it in the beginning, they were able to kind of nip the infections in the bud. But if you ask me, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but it just seems like the whole world has maybe overreacted a bit. I don't know.
Well, a lot of people say that, but I've interviewed a lot of doctors.
Yeah.
In several countries, and when I tell them, that people are feeling like this is being exaggerated and the quarantine is overrated and the effects of the virus on mankind is overrated, the overwhelming response has been, ask them to come to work with us.
Okay.
And they're at the forefront treating these people every day. So apparently, because some of us may not come directly in contact with people who are suffering, it would appear as though there's an exaggerated approach to the way countries are handling this virus in terms of quarantine and stuff like that. But I think when we question if it's an exaggeration, what we need to do is look at the numbers in terms of deaths and contaminations. And that should say a lot. Also, I don't know if you noticed that China has released their natives from the quarantine, and now they have a huge resurgence. Did you see that?
I did follow to be honest, when this all started and until about 2 weeks ago, I was following the news closely. But, after a while you get a bit tired of it. So I decided I can't do anything about it. I must just concentrate on what I can do, So that's why, I'm not an expert on it, so I cannot. I defer to medical opinion, sure.
Yeah.
But if you look at a place like South Africa, the lockdown and the way they've gone about it there is producing worse results than I think the disease would have.
Do you mind sharing with us how they've gone about it? Because I haven't interviewed anyone there as yet. I'm going to interview someone there this week.
Oh, okay.
How have they gone about it? Do you mind sharing?
Sure. They a complete lockdown where almost only essential businesses are operating. It was supposed to be for 2 weeks, then it went on for 3, then 4, and now they've got different levels. People aren't even allowed to buy alcohol or cigarettes. But that's not the major issue. The major issue is that businesses are being destroyed. The economy was already in a really, really bad state of affairs. So this is kind of like a double blow. So what's happening now is that, the unemployment has just absolutely, it was already very, very high, officially 25%. So you can imagine what it would be now.
No, I could.
Yeah.
That's really sad. So why can't they?
And the official rate is not really the real rate, Yeah.
But I don't understand why you can't sell alcohol or cigarettes.
No, I don't know either. You'll have to ask.
I could understand, that they're only allowing certain businesses that are selling the essentials to be open. But in some cases, cigarettes and alcohol are essentials.
Well, the theory is that if you sell alcohol, people, will abuse it at home, and there would be, negative effects from that, like, beating up their wives or whatever.
I have to.
No, that is real.
Oh, wow.
But I don't understand. I mean, I'm not a smoker, but I don't understand the ban on cigarettes. Supposedly, it's going to make your lungs worse if you get COVID, which I'm sure it does. But if you are isolated, then I don't see how a puff on a cigarette is going to harm you,
Yes,
Anyway.
you could sell the cigarettes and say 1 packet per person or something like that, or the same. But I understand why you would say you don't agree with all of the rules, because I would have a problem with that too. I'm not a drinker or a smoker, but I feel like this virus is having such a huge impact on people that you can't take every single thing away from them, because it's just going to have a more dramatic effect. And you may stop them getting drunk and damaging their lungs, but then you may create depression.
Yeah.
So where's the happy medium?
Yeah.
Anyway, you're lucky you escaped it. So if you need any of those, this is not a problem for you, because you're in Australia, where I'm sure you could get most of what you want.
Yeah, we are really, really blessed to be here. And my daughter just got out of there just before they closed the flights to join us. So, yeah.
Your daughter is with you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have many children or just one daughter?
I have 3 daughters.
Ah, okay. Where are your other 2 daughters?
They're already here in Australia. That's why we're following. Yeah.
Got it. So your entire family is out of South Africa, which is
Correct. Yes. Yes.
And in Australia, have they had many deaths that you know of that are associated with the corona or as a result of the coronavirus?
They have. I've lost touch of the stats. I think there were about 600.
Okay. And
if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, there's been times when there's been several days without any new cases here. So I think they're really on top of it here. Most of the cases occurred with travel from overseas and cruise ships. So yeah.
yeah, that's been reported from many countries that they've claimed that's how it got into their country.
Yeah.
So is tourism popular there?
Oh yes, yes. It's. I mean, Australia's got beautiful beaches. They've got. I mean, everybody talks about going to the Opera House. We went there the first time we came to Australia. So there's a lot of diverse things to see. There's wine farms. We still got to take a trip down there. In South Australia and Victoria states. So there's a lot to look at and a lot of history. So it's a popular destination for holiday.
Okay. What is the one thing that the government has done that's impressed you the most to help control the spread of this virus?
Well, I think they told everybody to go into isolation, and I think the way they went about it was not like a total lockdown like they're doing in South Africa. So because I see the two, I can make a comparison. I think they were a little bit more clever about it here, even though it has destroyed businesses like restaurants and coffee shops and tourism, which tourism would have had a problem anyway because people stopped traveling. The other businesses that tried to be reasonable. I mean, takeaways were able to operate. In South Africa, you can't even go and have a takeaway.
Wow.
So I think they were smart about it. And then what's really impressed me is how they're trying to help small businesses.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. Are they helping them? They are.
Yes. So in two ways. The one, because I talk to a lot of business people. I mean, the one is even if you are self-employed, you could also they've got a program called the JobKeeper program, where they would pay 3,000 Australian dollars a month towards every employee.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And even if you're self-employed, they would do the same to the business owner. I mean, which I was really, I mean, I don't qualify for that for myself, but I mean, for any business that's been affected, they can claim those claims. And like when these things happen, I'm always skeptical of politicians. They always say the right things and do, but when it comes to doing things, it doesn't often happen. But here it actually has happened. I've heard of people who've got these payments, and it is helping them.
Yeah, they sound to have a very impressive prime minister.
Yes, yeah.
I'm very impressed with whenever I've seen and heard her. I've been impressed.
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with the fact that she might just be a woman,
No, that you're talking about the New Zealand one.
Oh, sorry. I was getting the two mixed up. Yes, I was referring to the woman in New Zealand. I forgot we are in Australia. Yes, but it sounds like your prime minister is also doing an amazing job. And it's,
yes,
it's not a woman.
His name's Scott Morrison, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I don't really follow politics, but except where it's going to touch business. So yeah, I feel I can't say anything bad about him. But with this COVID situation, it's been very impressive, I must say.
Yeah. Okay. And then do you know how they're handling the school children? I mean, most countries, they are offering distance learning. Do you know if that's the same, if they're dealing with it in the same way?
When it first, that's a good point. So when it first started, they said they weren't going to shut the schools because they were concerned that people like nurses and people who did essential services, what would they do with their children? Then they wouldn't be able to go to work if their children had to be at home. And the other thing they did was they subsidized childcare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was the other impressive thing they did, was to enable people, that needed to, maybe they didn't want to send their kids to school or whatever, that they could then put their children in childcare and then they decided to actually close the schools, which they did for a few weeks, maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I can't remember. I remember my one daughter was very frustrated because she had the two little ones at home doing homeschooling, and my little granddaughter, she's a little older, she's fine, but my grandson is he's 5 years old, and it's a bit difficult for him to sit still in front of a computer all day.
Especially when the mother or the father is the teacher.
Yeah.
So have the schools reopened?
Yes, they just reopened. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's great. They've got social distancing at schools.
How are they able to accomplish that with young kids?
With
young children, how are they able to, do you know how successful they are at keeping these children in a social, appropriate social distancing?
I don't know. It's just started.
I'd love to know how it's working.
Yeah, and apparently one child, so this is how obviously things affect people, when they isolate. Some children were traumatized going back to school, leaving home.
Really?
Yeah, shame. Yeah.
Well, it depends. A lot of times, if a lot of fear is discussed in the home, it will have some effect on the kids.
Yeah, but my grandkids couldn't wait to get back to school. They wanted to see their mates.
I can imagine. Yeah. So when did the schools reopen? This week?
I think it was this week, yes.
Yeah. So it's probably too soon to see how it's working or not.
In fact, some of I think they did it in stages, because my granddaughter went back maybe a week or two ago. She's older, and the little one still had to stay at home.
Okay.
Until this week, yeah. So
that's really impressive. I don't know, since I've been doing any of these interviews, if I've interviewed anyone who said that they have reopened the schools.
Yeah.
Most of the people are telling me the schools are going to be on lockdown until September. So I'd love to know how opening up early is helping or is working for Australia.
Yeah, well, you know, there's very few new cases. I mean, although I don't follow the news closely, my wife does. So she would have told me if there was another break, you know, cases. So I
Yes.
just hear every now and then, no more cases, no more cases. So I think they've kind of got it under control. But obviously, you know, it's as I understand it, it's a disease that can spread quickly. It's very contagious.
Yes.
I guess that's the risk, is that it can spread when it gets in again somehow. So let's trust we can keep, and let's trust our immune systems can you know, control it.
Yes, we'll have to wait and see. What have you learned about yourself from this experience?
I well, isolation has suited me.
Okay, it suited you. Why? Why?
I was surprised. I'm actually enjoying it. I do a lot more cooking now. So yeah, and we enjoy being with my wife and daughter. So we're sharing a home here. We do miss going out every now and then, but yeah, we saved a lot of money on going out.
Join the club. But were you someone who spent a lot of time at home prior to this experience or to this necessity? Because it's necessary that we stay home. Did you spend a lot of time at home, or were you someone who was out and about?
I mean, since I arrived in Australia, I was already working from home anyway.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
So what I found quite nice here is, you know, when people do business here, especially in Brisbane, they like meeting face to face. Okay, so you know, it's time consuming getting in the car, driving somewhere, seeing someone for half an hour, then driving back, or getting on a train. You know, you could spend 1.5 hours and have a half an hour meeting. You know, so this has actually suited me because I can have 5 or 6 meetings a day now.
It's
Yeah.
amazing how many people are reporting that they are getting so much more out of their day working from home, because we never really stop to think about waking up, getting dressed, getting in the car, driving to where we have to go, or getting on an airplane, a bus, or a train. The time it takes to do that. And then if there's a traffic jam, and sometimes people do the most stupid things on the road, and you're sitting going, are you really doing that? And it affects your psyche and your mood. So sometimes by the time you get to where you're going, you're not in the same great frame of mind and mindset as you woke up with. And I think until this experience, it didn't really have the impact of how much you do get done if you can do it from home.
Yes, I've
What do
always
you
known
think
that.
of that?
I've always known that, though. Yeah.
You've always known that.
Yeah.
Because in the past, a lot of companies were not willing to let their employees work from home. Because I think the fear was they thought you wouldn't work. Yeah. But this has forced us all to find out.
Well, I think the tough thing for companies would be if they really looked into it in detail. They will find that most employees probably only work for 2 hours a day.
What do you mean? You mean from home or when they go to the office?
When they go to the office, there's probably only 2 productive hours a day.
That's interesting. You really think so?
I think so, yes.
So you feel that having everyone work from home is really benefiting companies?
Yeah, they'll probably get 4 productive hours a day.
I'm interested to see how many companies continue to let their staff work from home going forward, because it also saves them money.
Mm. So the only thing with the only thing that you lose with teams being together is like brainstorming and creative kind of input, because sometimes you need more than one brain, more than one mind to come up and expand on an idea, you know.
But
So we just need to.
you don't think they can accomplish that on Zoom or webinars or podcasts?
You can, but it'll take time to get people to open up, because you know if you've got 5 people on a Zoom call, you don't see all the body language and that, you know. So, but I think apart from the creativity, which I think can also be solved, I think you don't really need to be in office all day. Sometimes you have difficult subjects or conversations, which is always best face to face. But if you're forced to have it from one country to another, you can even have those conversations.
Right. It's amazing. Thank God for technology.
Yes.
Thank God for the internet. We did not know what we were preparing for, did we?
No, yeah.
And it's really serving us during this time. We're almost out of time. Can you believe it? Where did 30 minutes go when you're having a great conversation?
No, I really enjoyed this, yeah. And,
oh, thank you. So have I. What would you like to leave with my viewers before we wrap up?
Well, just stay safe and find an opportunity if make lemonade from the lemon. And I don't want to be flippant, because I know some people have been really, really hit hard, you know. It's not trying to be flippant, but just see if you can find something positive out of it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And the one positive I have found out of it is I've met amazing people like you, sitting in my living room while you're sitting in your home. I thank you so much for sharing that experience with us. Sorry, I was confusing Australia with New Zealand in the middle of the interview.
As I say here, no worries.
Thank you so much. And you stay safe.
Yeah, thanks.
As soon as I've edited this interview, I will send you the link so that you can enjoy it and do whatever you want with it. And good luck with your new business in your new country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jan. And thank you for watching Conversations with Jennylyn. When a conversation is all you need to be inspired, like this one. And I'll see you next time.